Ambassador. As I said to you in private and I have raised here in public, I have a concern about excessive absences from post. Your commitment in private, but for the to providing complete records of all approving your leave in your official calendars?
Yes, Senator, I do commit.
Private and I have raised here in public, I have a concern about excessive absences from post. You gave me your commitment in private, but for the record here, do you commit to providing complete records of all of the time you spent away from post, including the cables approving your leave in your official calendars?
Yes, Senator, I do commit to providing you with all the information necessary.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate the information you've provided, but there are a number of discrepancies. From October 23rd of 2017 to June 19th of 2019, we have that you were away more than 300 days away from the post. It's an extraordinary number of absences. The red describes each day that you were away from post. From March 21st to May 13th, in that short period of time, you were out 45 of 54 days from the post. Now, there are trips listed as official travel, but some of those trips that you listed as official travel, you treated while being home in Kentucky. And there is additional travel that you appear to have taken that is not reflected in the information you provided. For example, there are several instances where you posted social media messages from places other than Canada, although there is no record of you traveling. Did you ever travel away from post without requesting approval?
No, sir. We requested approval in advance of my travel, and we're in full compliance with my travel.
So you always requested and always received approval for your travel?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there may be explanations for all of these, but the bottom line is without the full records, we can't evaluate. So I would urge you, as well as the State Department, to provide these records so that we can move forward with your nomination. Let me ask you this. Lay out briefly for me the most pressing issues the United Nations faces, as well as areas where you believe the United States should leverage the United Nations in pursuit of our foreign policy priorities.
Thank you, Senator, for that question, and thank you for this conversation that we were able to have yesterday afternoon. I see pressing issues as any issue that involves innocent people throughout the UN system, throughout the world, that are being abused, that are having human rights abuses. I think it's very important that who would have ever thought that today we have so many crises in Venezuela, in Yemen, in Syria, and it's so important that we look after our human rights issues, because then that in turn is going to be humanitarian issues. So in my opinion, I look at every issue when it involves an innocent civilian as a crisis.
Well, I appreciate your response in terms of humanitarian issues, and I would share those with you, but I would expect someone who's the nominee to be the UN ambassador in response to that question to talk about, for example, the challenges of North Korea, aggression and nuclear proliferation, the challenges in Libya, destabilized Libya, the challenges of China's growing influence and ongoing threats from Iran, the challenges of Venezuela. Those are minimally some of the hot spots in the world right now. So when I ask about the most pressing issues, and I certainly embrace the humanitarian issues, but these are the types of issues you'll be called upon as the United States ambassador at the UN to be dealing. Let me ask you this. What UN functions would you describe as being of the greatest value to the United States?
Senator, thank you. I believe that the Security Council is going to be providing the greatest assistance to the U.S. in calling out bad actors and in highlighting anyone that demonstrates anti-Israel bias or anti-Semitism. And I also reiterate that the Security Council is going to be an area that China and Russia can actually call themselves out by allowing the world to see how they do not assist us in human rights abuses, and especially in calling out corrosive behavior as we have in Iran. It is a moment that we can use to highlight bad actors, whether it be Iran, the Houthi rebels in Yemen, Russia, China, the way they treat the Uyghurs. I mean, we have so many crises that the Security Council it's very important that we be able to use them in establishing sanctions and also in making certain that we tackle human rights abuses every day.
Well, one follow-up question. You mentioned the Security Council, and certainly it's an essential element of the UN. There's a whole host of other functions the UN has that I would commend to your attention. But Russia, the president seeks to develop a greater personal relationship with Mr. Putin and Russia. How will you seek to avail yourself of that as it relates to Russia, the Security Council?
Thank you, Senator. You know, I'm not going there to be Russia's friend. They're not our friend. They undermine us at every opportunity that they have. And you better believe I will keep a clear eye on them and understanding where we can work together, whether it's North Korea or other areas that we need to call them out on. I mean, we have to be very protective of Ukraine. We have to understand that they are propping up the Assad regime and also their human rights abuses. Our country has applied more sanctions in this administration than has ever been applied on Russia, and I will continue to hold them accountable. We will continue to apply maximum pressure, and if confirmed, I will promise you that we will be shining a light on Russia.
Thank you very much.